Good day, my name is Yonela. Welcome to Necessary Conversations, a YouTube channel dedicated to igniting profound dialogues about political and economic socialization that maintains universal status quo. By the end of this video, you will understand the deeper reason for economic failure in Africa and what could be done to change the man-made fate of Africa and its people. It all started in 1884 at the Berlin Conference, where 14 European countries attended the conference. Not even a single African representative was invited to that conference, yet they were discussing Africa. They came up with strategies to exploit Africa's rich resources. Subsequently, they divided the continent into pieces to prevent African people from unifying against their well-calculated plan. Their plan was achieved through mass persuasion, mind control, oppression of Africans, and encouraging tribalism and tribal warfare. Taking the rights of African people to benefit Europeans and profiting from oppression in terms of entertainment was also part of the plan. Of course, the conference was a huge success.
Poverty is an industry. Ignorance is an industry. Big industry. And there are those who want Africa to continue to wallow in poverty and to wallow in ignorance because it is their safest bet.
They stole African land right under our noses. 136 years later, Europe is still mercilessly milking poor Africa dry. France still collects an annual tax of over $500 billion from 14 Western African countries. Money circulates for only 6 hours in black communities, contrary to other communities where it circulates for 15 to 30 days. That says a lot about our cognitive psychology and critical thinking. Indeed, our education system has engineered gullible leaders. Globalization began in 1492. Imperialism began in 1870. Africa became the sacrificial lamb for Europe's economy in 1884. Consequently, African people were mind-programmed to be conformists, loud, neurotic, and rationally ignorant. This was harnessed through education, religion, oppression, and media. The cognitive psychology of African people is exactly what's pulling Africa down. Until we break free from mental slavery and decolonize our thought process, we won't see change. The very brain that regulates everything that we do has been dumbed down by guileful Western models of education. Science has even claimed that black people are genetically small-brained and intellectually inferior to other races. Apparently, we are the cursed descendants of Noah. The current events have proven that science is influenced by politics. It is important to know that science is not the whole story. The Codesa negotiations and other African negotiations were negotiated out of fear That is why imperial relations never ended. Africa is still psychologically and economically colonized. I have always wondered why Africa is less industrialized than it was 40 years ago. And I've also wondered why Africa has never discovered or invented anything to satisfy the needs for billions of people worldwide. Our habits, behavior, logic, creative thinking, long-term memory, willpower, beliefs, emotions, and imagination are dictated to us. Our justice system is dictated to us. People don't seem to realize that the main purpose of colonial language was to enhance and expand their influence and to also limit our capabilities. Due to globalism and neo-imperialism, Africa has lost its identity and wealth. We are not free. Liberation is nugatory if African languages cannot be used in parliaments, courts, and institutions.
But the incredible thing is that this extinction is often going unappreciated and, worryingly in most cases, completely unnoticed. Ironically, language extinction is the quietest. Languages aren't just ways of communicating, they're ways of thinking as well. But language isn't just a vehicle for communication, it's a different way of seeing the world.
Democracy is just a psychological term used by capitalists to manipulate and acclimatize citizens to autocratic control. We have all witnessed social media companies taking down videos and claiming that they are fake news. This pandemic has given authorities a new pretext to curtail our personal freedom and freedom of speech. Oppression is not only imprinted in our policies, religion, culture, media, and institutions. It is also cemented in our social media platforms.
Never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another.
I strongly believe the panacea to redefine our democracy as Africans and to develop and build our economy is to first decolonize our cognitive psychology in order to change our thought process. Challenging status quo and re-education is also important. Our generation is not the answer. We are not equipped to fight Europe because we only see things through Western eyes. Let's be honest, conformists cannot change anything other than copying Western models of organization. The truth is, Europe made Africa. The curriculum developers ensured that we only see what they want us to see. People don't realize that propaganda is science. Through propaganda and indoctrination, the West is able to make us do what they want us to do and to think how they want us to think. Mass media has persuaded Africans to believe that corruption is committed mostly by black elites and politicians. Media reports news a certain way to shape and manipulate the logic of the general public. Of course, no one forces the politicians to loot. It's their choice. But one of the purposes of mind programming is self-destruction. African mind has been induced to psychological, emotional, and social vulnerability in order to manipulate its reasoning and judgment. It is not an accident that black people are reactive, poor, reproduce more than any other race, socially disorganized, gullible, self-hate, loud, self-destruct, exasperated, and commit more crimes than any other race. Greedy politicians and over-government spending are not an accident. These are qualities of programmed new personalities. Through mind control, the worsened powers are able to control how we think, what we do, and how we act. Programming creates a pattern, a mind map to manipulate our thought process. When Africa gained its independence, our leaders didn't have the plan for Africa. They simply carried out the program of the oppressive rule and imported economic development models that are not compatible with African social needs. By adopting Western models of education, we are doing ourselves more harm as we are going into a deep hypnosis state.